John.
Through you, Madam Chair, the Prime Minister in his own speech said that they would cap government spending at 2%. It only took an hour and a half after that, when main estimates were released by this minister, that they are going to spend at 8%. Can the minister confirm that the deficit won't be larger than the $46.8 billion that was projected in their Liberal platform?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, the member is an experienced member. He would have seen that the budget deficit in the fiscal monitor from April to March 2025 is at $43.2 billion.
Full member.
Can the minister confirm today that when the budget comes out this fall, it won't be $1 over that?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, I'm happy to confirm what the member can read in the fiscal monitor. The number in the fiscal monitor from April to March 2025 in terms of budget deficit is $43.2 billion.
Member.
Can the minister tell us how much his government will borrow to cover the debt for the new spending this year?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, the member would note that we are very fiscally prudent, and with our team, we're managing the finance of Canada in the way that, we're bringing.
The Honourable Member.
Just the number. How much will the minister's government borrow this year on the debt?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, my colleague would be pleased, because I know he's a man who likes the number. He will be pleased to see that we have the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7, a great position.
The Honourable Member.
Desjardins is predicting that number could be $600 billion. What will that do to debt interest costs? Will it go up or down?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, again, the member will be very pleased to know that Canada is one of the very few countries. Actually, there's only 2 countries in the G7 which have a AAA credit rating. Canada is one of them. You should be very proud of that.
Member.
My question, and in the FES, the total debt shows $1.27 trillion. That means the amount that's going to be borrowed will be half of that total debt that Canada has. Can the minister confirm whether the debt interest costs in the budget will go up or down?
Honourable Minister.
Chair, the colleague will be happy to learn that the public debt charge as a percentage of nominal GDP, if you look at the last few years, more than a decade, is always around 1.5%. Madam Speaker, this is going to be, it's a...
The Honourable Member.
Sure, this isn't very hard. The minister can easily answer. Will debt interest costs this year go up or down from what was projected?
Yeah, I think so. The Honourable Minister.
The member would be pleased to see that in 23-24, the percentage of the public debt chart as a percentage of nominal GDP was 1.8%. This is a great position to be in as a country.
Full member.
Here, obviously, this number must be very bad that the minister keeps avoiding the answer to a very simple question. This current Prime Minister is projected to spend more than Justin Trudeau by more than $225 billion over the next 5 years. How big will the debt servicing costs get? Just the number.
Honourable Member.
Madam Chair, I hope that the member will have seen that this is a new government with a new Prime Minister, a government with ambition, a government that wants to build a Canada strong, a government that's going to build the infrastructure that's going to need to be resilient in the economy of the...
The Honourable Member.
Budgeting officer is projecting that in year 2029, 2030, the debt servicing cost will be $70 billion. Last year, the debt servicing was more than what goes to healthcare transfers to the provinces. Can the minister confirm that at $70 billion, will that be more or less than what gets transferred to the provinces in healthcare transfers?
Well, Minister.
Speaker, again, the member should take comfort in the fact that Canada has the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7 and a AAA credit rating, Madam Speaker. Only Germany and Canada G7 can have that rating. So it's a great position.
The Honourable Member.
Is it fair to the minister that bankers and bondholders are getting more money than what goes to the provinces for healthcare transfers? Is that compassionate to this minister?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, my colleague would be pleased to see that in the estimates that we published, the Canada Health Transfer will increase by $2.6 billion, Madam Chair. That's going to be important to support.
The Honourable Member, a very, very brief question.
Will the amount that goes to the provinces in healthcare transfers be more or less than the debt servicing costs next year?
Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, colleague will be happy to learn that in fiscal equalization we'll have an increase of $916 million, Madam Speaker. So they're going to be transferred to support
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to thank the Minister for his presentation, and we will have the opportunity to ask questions. The Minister has been in his post for 88 days now. His predecessor was saying that we were going to have a budget, but when the Minister took up this position, did he tell the officials we continue to work or we stop here? Honourable Minister. Madam Chair, I'd like to welcome the question from my colleague. He has a lot of experience, and I have a lot of respect for him. I'm happy to know that he's been following the number of days I've been the Minister of Finance. It's been 88 days, and I hope to be in this position for a long time to come. The honourable member, could the honourable member tell us if he intends to share his time? Yes, I'm going to be splitting my time with two other colleagues, Madam Chair. Thanks for the reminder. Well, I'd like to thank the Minister, but he did not answer my question. When he became the Minister, did he tell the officials we continue to prepare the budget, or do we stop the work? The Minister. Well, my colleague for Lucien Laurent has a lot of experience, and he knows that when you get at the helms of a new department, you get together with the officials. The honourable member. Once again, no answer. On the 14th of May, after the first Council of Ministers, the Minister of Finance announced publicly that there was not going to be a budget this year, that there was going to be an update only. But 2 days after, the Prime Minister corrected his remarks, saying that there was going to be a budget this fall. Was the Minister put out to dry, or was it a correction? Honourable Minister. Madam Chair, I can tell my colleague that we work with the Prime Minister to help grow the Canadian economy. We're trying to build the strongest economy in the G7, and I know that this is going to please the people in his writing. I can see it in his smile. The member. Well, Madam Chair, we don't really have smiles on our faces when we can't get answers from the Minister. The government promised to cap expenditure at 2%. What has been the increase in the budget for consultants? Honourable Minister. Madam Chair, I'm happy to see that my colleague really follows the Liberal platform. What we announced was that we were going to bring the increase in operational expenditure from 97%, but it is nice to know that he's been paying so much attention to Liberal proposals. Honourable Member. Well, after saying that they were going to cap it at 2%, we were able to see that their expenditure for consultants went up by 36%. Yes, it's been 88 days since he's been the Minister of Finance, but it's been more than 3,000 days that has been a minister in this government that is responsible for $500 billion of debt. What is the interest on our debt as we speak, the Honourable Minister? Well, I just found out that it's been more than 3,600 days a minister, but I intend to stay in this position for a long time to come. My colleague knows that the numbers he's been referring to come from a financial review that looks backwards, but I'm looking forward. The Honourable Member. Well, in 3,000 plus days, they could actually look forward and make sure that they're not increasing the debt. Did he read the article in La Presse on the 16th of May from Ms. Fournier? Honourable Madam Chair, I am not aware of this article, but I'm sure that my colleague is about to talk to me about the article. Honourable Member, the Daily looked into the dealings of the department. So when people are calling the department or the revenue agency, they cannot reach anyone. People who work there don't seem to have a sufficient level of training. When they answer questions, they're not fully answering. What can the minister do to meet the needs of the Canadians that were mentioned in this article? Honourable Minister. Madam Chair, I'd like to start by thanking everyone working at the CRA, especially in Shawinigan, in my neck of the woods. And I know that they're trying to provide the best service possible to Canadians. And Madam Chair, the issue that's been mentioned by my colleague is one that we're keeping a close eye on.